as we are diving in to our fresh best of 3 series, to a qualifying match, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Sister, we have the German Protoss player representing big esports. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ancient Sister, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. He just took down Geralt 2-0. It is SKillous. Likewise, ShoWTimE just took down Cristiano 2-0 as well. They were both able to prove themselves in the PvPs, but there can only be one. I said there are 2 qualifying matches, but for now there can only be one. The winner of this series does, of course, qualify and advance on into the knockout bracket. The loser gets knocked down to the lower bracket instead, where they will have another chance that will have a second life at making it through. Oh boy. As once again, we're going to be diving into Ancient Cistern. Both players going for those double gate openers. Question becomes, what 2 units are going to be coming out? We've been seeing a lot of adept play out of ShoWTimE. Very very aggressive style coming out from ShoWTimE, at least against Cristiano. But I imagine that you want to be aggressive like that if you feel like you're the stronger player. Against SKillous, I don't know if ShoWTimE is really going to play like that. I don't think that's the style that he's going to go for. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm catching up in the chat. Replay cast? Yes. I believe in the title. I believe in the Twitch title. It should say a replay cast. These matches were played earlier, far earlier, a couple of weeks ago even. So yeah, these are the ESL Masters replays. The ESL Masters Summer replays. I guess people may be tuning in for... maybe there are people that weren't here at the start of the broadcast, but we of course casted day 1 live of DreamHack Yongshipping, but the open brackets of that tournament was massive, and unfortunately a lot of matches weren't broadcasted. A lot of matches were played, but they weren't broadcasted to the public. So I'm taking this opportunity to go over those replays, to go over those matches, and cast them here and now. You know, I mean, in a way, you know, the event has already ended, but do of course want to bear witness and see what happened in a lot of those matches and how these players shaped up with each other. So here we go. It is going to be initial Stalker openers here. SKillous does go for a proxy pylon across the map, but did go for a Nexus first, so pretty economic openers here from both of our players. Nothing too crazy. SKillous is going for a proxy gateway, but with this hallucination scout, ShoWTimE will have eyes on this. He does see, he confirms that proxy gateway. Again, it was Stalker Sentry openers from both players. It's a much more defensive way to open. With this, you have a lot more scouting potential as well. As we can see, the hallucinations make it into the main base, confirming the timing of the Nexus, the tech itself. Twilight Council of ShoWTimE has been revealed. Meanwhile, the tech of SKillous hasn't been thrown down yet. ShoWTimE is looking for it, but of course he knows, of course, his opponent is being very aggressive here with his 3-gate opener. SKillous does have better production. He will, as a result, have a larger army. ShoWTimE is going to try and get in position here, but he has to be very careful. Without Blink, Force Fields are king. Both players are going to try and cut up each other's army. Just like that, one Stalker does get picked off. Very nicely done here by SKillous. Again, it is on a knife's edge. Both players still have Force Fields available. But after losing one Stalker, ShoWTimE has to respect that position. He will back off. He falls back to the safety of his shield battery, but the shield battery isn't done yet. Uh-oh. Needs a couple more seconds. Once he does have that shield battery and an overcharge available, then ShoWTimE should be fine here, at least on these 2 bases. SKillous recognizes that, and he's just looking to contain his opponents. He already got a Stalker kill. He already got some value for his troubles. Reinforces, and again, he's going to be looking to dive in if he sees an opportunity. Back at home, we have our own Twilight Council working on Blink. Both players are taking up. And ShoWTimE is able to sneak out a couple of these adepts. I say sneak out, they have been spotted here by SKillous. ShoWTimE does push back the army as well. SKillous doesn't lose anything, and again, he does have eyes on these adepts, so he should be getting ready back at home. Probe is here in position to throw down that wall. Is thrown down the Adepts. They still commit to the Shade anyway. They get one probe at the natural. They're going to be able to get a second probe in the naturals. Oh, not quite. They don't quite get the second probe. The Adepts do get cleaned up, and across the map, SKillous is still being active with his main army. And ShoWTimE has lost a lot. Looks like another Stalker went down. And the pressure is still on ShoWTimE. He's crazy. He goes for a third base. Can he hold on to that third? I don't know. SKillous has double the Stalker count of ShoWTimE right now, and this may have just been a little bit too greedy. ShoWTimE still only on 2 gates, by the way. He can barely warp in. He has a third gate on the way now, but SKillous is about to snowball out of control. Blink is done for both players. We do have the overcharge, of course. SKillous, I'm sure he wants to force it. So blinks are here, and there we go. We do force the overcharge. SKillous will back off. Oh, despite that, the army is so low anyway, and he has such a high Stalker count. He goes for the army. He goes for the fight. The boys are being pulled. The overcharge runs out. Can ShoWTimE hold on? It's gonna be close, but it looks like ShoWTimE is losing a little bit too much. This is getting out of hand. GG gets called, and SKillous will take game number 1. GG. The greed, Poppy. The greed from ShoWTimE to try to go for the third base, even though he did scout across the map. He knew about the proxy gateway. He did see that no additional tech was thrown down or a third base. It was a very cheeky move, a very risky move from ShoWTimE, and he was punished for it so very hard. I guess he just wasn't expecting SKillous to double down and to just keep warping in wave after wave of Stalkers and just commit essentially to a 2 base almost all in. Oh, really well done there by SKillous. And now we're going to be getting into game number 2 with having SKillous at a 1-0 advantage. Oh boy. You're an animal, no clone. You're an animal. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the German Protoss player representing big esports. Oh, struggling a little bit in game number 1, but looking to bounce back in game 2. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, 1 game away from qualifying and going into that knockout bracket. It is SKillous. Now, I don't want to harp on this too much. But unfortunately, this is a best of 3, not a best of 5. Yeah. That's my biggest criticism of the open brackets of DreamHack, was the fact that qualifying all matches were best of 3s, and I understand that, you know, they didn't want the tournament to go on, or the matches to go on for too long, and the group stages to take up too much time. But it is brutal. It is brutal that these are best of 3s, and as a result, again, SKillous, he only needs 1 more. ShoWTimE, the pressure is on him to fight back here and now. As once again, we're getting into our double gate openers, as to be expected. Last game, both players went for a Stalker Sentry opener. We'll see if they do divert their initial units here. Again, I assumed that ShoWTimE, he was only going Mass Adept against Christianer in the previous series, just because he felt like he was the favorite player and he could out-control and out-multitask Christianer. Based on what we saw last game, I do think that he's got a lot more respect for SKillous and his abilities, I should say. So we'll see. We'll see if he goes for another safe opener or something more aggressive here, as here we go. ShoWTimE is going for double Adept. SKillous going for double Stalker. Okay. So with this, ShoWTimE is looking to be a little bit more aggressive. He's looking to try to bypass these Stalkers and, if possible, slip into a mineral line. Meanwhile, SKillous, with these Stalkers, is going to have a little more map control, and a head-to-head engagement, SKillous will be able to win this trade And he's going to have a really solid, quote-unquote, army or solid amount of units here to support this natural and to actually protect it. As yeah, this is the exact same thing that ShoWTimE did against Cristiano. It's going to be 4 Adepts into a faster Stargate. He's going to be delaying his Nexus here in favor of Oracles, in favor of aggression. We'll see if SKillous can keep up. He does fan out his units. His Stalkers move out towards the north and south. He's got his probe here towards the center. He's trying to find any kind of units moving out across the map. As the Adepts do reveal themselves. And SKillous is going to be able to wall off here on top of the ramp. He's got a couple of sentries as well for hallucinations. With this, even though SKillous hasn't seen the tech yet, he should be able to get eyes on that momentarily. Ooh, that wall is a little bit too late. The Adepts do shade on in. They don't just get the probe. They're going for the sentries as well. It looks like they won't be able to get them. Ooh, 3 probes do go down. With the death of the Adepts, we throw down the Twilight Council instantly. And thankfully, we have 2 more Adepts behind it. The wall still not a wall. ShoWTimE is looking for even more damage. He's already got 3 probes. Doesn't get any more yet. He's going to be waiting here a little bit longer. His first Oracle is now hitting the field. Does get spotted by the hallucination. SKillous is now aware of the Stargate opener. He's now aware as well that ShoWTimE's Nexus is late. Or delayed. And yeah, I love that SKillous is actually using his hallucinations to chase down these Oracles. We do have the second Oracle about to join in as well. But again, SKillous has eyes on everything. He even has a second hallucination here to meet up as soon as the first one runs out. And yeah, we don't really see ShoWTimE getting past this. The Adepts don't shade in. The Oracles are forced to throw down the Revelation. They haven't done any damage yet. Now, thankfully, they're still alive, so there's still always potential. There's always potential for ShoWTimE. As long as he's able to preserve his units. Back at home, kind of a similar mantra as we saw previously. Because ShoWTimE, he has a delayed Twilight Council. He's already going into Immortal production to make up for his Stalker deficit. Of course, SKillous is going to have a bit of a timing with Blink. Oh, the Adepts do shade in. The Stalkers were waiting for him. Oh, it was maybe even a bit of a bait as 2 probes go down for 2 Adepts. Oh. God, and SKillous, he's just... he's relentless with this hallucination. Oh my god. Feels bad. It feels Oracle, man. These Oracles, they haven't been left alone. They just want to get away. Oh god, they just want to kill workers. That's all they want to do. But again, SKillous has done a great job so far at just keeping tabs on them. Keeping an eye on those Oracles, making sure they never go by unnoticed. Behind this, SKillous is just going to be going for his 3rd base. Forge is on the way for upgrades. Robo as well. Interesting. So, I would have assumed that SKillous would have hit a stronger Blink timing. I would have assumed that because Blink is about to finish, he'd be active on the map and he'd be, you know, pressuring his opponent. And I'm sure ShoWTimE thought the same thing. But especially because SKillous hasn't really taken too many probe kills, he knows that he's ahead economically because he had the faster Nexus. So he may as well just get further ahead and may as well just get a 3rd base. A much faster 3rd than ShoWTimE. Like, there's no pressure on SKillous to do any counter damage because he hasn't lost that much. Not yet. Again, the Oracles are still alive, so ShoWTimE can still kill probes. There's always potential for damage, but still hasn't really turned out that way. ShoWTimE is attempting to catch up. Oh my god. 3rd isn't even fully saturated and SKillous just immediately throws down the 4th. And I don't think ShoWTimE saw it. Yeah, he didn't see the 4th base. Jesus Christ. SKillous just being so... I almost want to say so greedy, but like he can kind of get away with it. I say kind of. The army is moving out. This has been spotted by SKillous. He knows. He's aware. He's got a shield battery. He has sentries for force fields. Speaking of, ooh, ShoWTimE does throw one down, but he doesn't get the Stalker. And unfortunately, okay, so because ShoWTimE hasn't seen the 4th base, he's not pushing in. If he knew how greedy SKillous was being right now, then ShoWTimE would be pushing into either the 3rd base or even the natural. Like, there would be pressure on him to get damage done. But he doesn't know. He doesn't know that right now SKillous is vulnerable. He doesn't know that SKillous is just spending so much money on his economy and not on his army. And SKillous is getting away with it, as ShoWTimE backs off instead. Ooh. Now, with this Prism, ShoWTimE will eventually see this 4th, but by the time he does, it's already done, it's already saturated, we already have a shield battery here as well. It's, you know, that window where SKillous was vulnerable has kind of come and gone. As ShoWTimE's working on his own 4th base, but again, he's just behind at this point. Hallucination does see the saturation. Now ShoWTimE knows how behind he is. Oh, as the Oracles dip in, but no, one of them gets sniped. ShoWTimE now no longer has one-shot potential. The depths are shading in, but we have cannons, we got shield batteries. Prism dips into the main. Or starts to dip into the main. And ShoWTimE, his answer here is to go into DTs. Which is great and all. Unfortunately for ShoWTimE, we already have cannons. We already have cannons in all the mineral lines. We have a 5th base on the way. I'm not going to say the DTs won't do damage. It's just going to be difficult to do damage. Couple of zealots do dip into the main base. They're gonna force some lost mining time, but not too much else. I think he gets 1 probe kill, 2, oh, maybe 3. Let's go. 3 probes, not bad. We wanted a little bit more, but regardless, 3 probes, it's better than none. Here we go. ShoWTimE is moving out with his main army. He does have eyes on the 5th base. Wants to try to force, or wants to even get a kill on this. Meanwhile, SKillous is also in the midst of moving out. Oh my god, he takes 3 stasis traps to the face. And suddenly, ShoWTimE is making some moves happen. He's going to be able to take down this Nexus. There's just not enough here to defend. God, more than half of the army of SKillous just out of commission. He's going to be able to chase this back. But again, really good stasis traps once again going off here for ShoWTimE. SKillous a little bit careless with his army movements, or just was unable to have that observer keep up. Meanwhile, DTs are warped into the main base. Oh, not gonna get anything done, unfortunately. But hey, we got the base, and that's all that matters. We got the 5th. Oh god, but ShoWTimE still at an army disadvantage, at a massive supply disadvantage. We need some more miracle stasis traps, not gonna lie. We need them, Papi, we need them. As SKillous does rotate back around, he has maxed out at this point. We have an overcharge to help support. It looks like ShoWTimE is going to be able to force SKillous back. That 1 Immortal taking a lot of hits already. SKillous is going to rotate around. He's looking for a better angle of attack. Oracle, sorry, ShoWTimE still has that Oracle, but unfortunately there were no stasis traps out on the field. And here we go, we blink on forward. Both Immortals of ShoWTimE go down instantly. And that was the backbone of his army. We still have 1 stasis trap behind this. If we can like bait a blink forward, then maybe we can take a fight. We at least have the concave as well. As SKillous rushes on forward, oh, the stasis trap does get baited out. SKillous had eyes on it. Oh, he does lose his detections. That 1 DT, the DTs are going uncontested. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's far too much Protoss. GG gets called, and SKillous takes the series 2-0. Oh, GG. Wow. Congratulations, SKillous does make it through, does take down ShoWTimE 2-0, and he qualifies for the knockout bracket. would say maybe an upset. It's hard to say, right? Like, I think for a long time we considered ShoWTimE to be the second best Protoss in Europe. It's MaxPax is number 1, ShoWTimE is number 2, and SKillous is number 3. But I guess PvPs can be really chaotic. Like mirror matchups are always like, you always have to like add a caveat to that because they can be really unpredictable at times. And yeah, SKillous at least here was looking far more dominant and did take down ShoWTimE without breaking too much of a sweat, to be honest. There were a couple of really good moves, like the stasis traps, for example. Like ShoWTimE had some good moments in that game, but they were only moments. They were brief and far between, unfortunately. As SKillous was, yeah, a lot more on fire here. He does make it out in first place in Group C. And ShoWTimE gets knocked down to the lower bracket. Thankfully, we don't have any elimination, or no one has been eliminated yet from the tournament. At least from the matches that we've been casting, but that is soon about to change. We're going to be heading over towards the lower brackets, and we have some players that we were able to feature earlier that actually lost their series, if you recall. Up next is going to be Ragnarok versus Christiana. Ragnarok, he fell to Geralt, Christiana fell to ShoWTimE, and now they're going to be duking it out in an elimination match. Oh boy. But regardless, GG, very well played to SKillous for taking down ShoWTimE. No easy feat. No easy feat at all. So really well done. And at this point, we have reached the halfway mark. We have reached the halfway point of our broadcast here. Of course, we have 6 matches tonight, and we just wrapped up with 3 of them. So we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a short break here to kind of cut the broadcast in half. Make sure that we're okay. Make sure that we don't overexert ourselves or anything like that. As sorry, I'm just setting up some of the scores here. So we're going to be going on a short break. Take this moment to hydrate all your Hydras, stretch your Roaches if you have them, drain your Disruptors, massage all your Marines, and when we come back, we're going to be here, not with a PvP, but with a ZVP with Ragnarok versus Christiana. See you soon.